All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Gratitude. My name is Christian, and this is the Let's Talk Wrestling portion of Let's Talk Gratitude channel, where on Mondays I review Friday Night SmackDown, and on Tuesdays I review Monday Night Raw. Today, of course, is Tuesday, so we're going to be looking at last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. So last night they packed a ton into the show, so let's just jump right into what happened. Show opened with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk promo battle. Started with Drew being in the ring first. He opened by saying we was talking about his loss to Seth Rollins last week, and the beginning of this promo was a bit of a continuation from a short clip he posted on social media, where he basically said, last week against Seth Rollins was an all or nothing match, and I lost. So what's next for Drew McIntyre? Well, I'm not so sure. I have to think about it. And last night, he suggested that maybe Drew McIntyre should take a step away from the WWE for a while. And then the turn comes when he goes, actually, I was thinking about it and mulling over the match over the week, and it wasn't my fault that I lost the match. It was Damian Priest's fault that I lost the match, because if you remember, Damian Priest tried to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase during the match, and Cody complains and Drew complains and says, "Damian, why'd you cash in during the match? You should have waited until I won the title, and then you could have cashed in on a beaten and weak Drew McIntyre." And then he goes on to criticize different people: Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, and then he gets to CM Punk, and he says, maybe I should rethink leaving. Actually, maybe if I leave for 9 years and come back, you'll all give me a hero's welcome too. And this criticism brings out CM Punk. He comes down to the ring, welcomes Drew to Piper Country, and says, "Drew, if you want to say something about CM Punk, go ahead and say it to my face," and gives Drew McIntyre the floor to speak. And as he does that, he does the Eddie Guerrero lay across the top rope, which I think more people should do. I think it's a really effective taunt. So CM Punk gives Drew McIntyre the floor. Drew then, I love Drew McIntyre kind of does a snarky, like, "Ooh, what, me?" He has that kind of attitude to him, and he's just more endearing when he does stuff like that. So Drew starts off by congratulating CM Punk for lasting a month so far. Drew tells CM Punk that there's a bet backstage between the boys for how long CM Punk is going to last. He tells CM Punk that, "CM Punk, you're costing a lot of people a lot of money the longer you stay around here," which tickles Punk a little bit. Drew tells Punk that he doesn't care what Punk said outside the ring about the company, only that Drew only cares what CM Punk does to him personally. Drew then goes on to tell a story about how he needed a leader before he got fired because he was in a dark place, and that his career was tailspinning and he could have used some guidance. He says that he went to Randy about it, but Randy says that he was dealing with his own demons at the time, and then he criticizes Punk by saying, "Well, you're straight edge. You don't have any demons, but you are a demon. A self-serving, narcissistic succubus," which is a tough thing to say to somebody. He ends this portion of the promo by saying, "After 9 years gone, I'm your leader now, kid." And then he gives the floor back to Punk by laying across the top rope like Punk did, reciprocating the taunt. So CM Punk starts and says that he never called himself a leader. He only led by example. And he says, "Look, if I'm not a leader, then who did you watch walk out of this company?" Which is a really good point. The logistics of kind of both of their exits. CM Punk left the company before Drew McIntyre did. I think it was just a few months before Drew left. And so Punk continues by saying, I left, then you left after me, but you came back to the company before I did, and so now I'm following your way back in. So it's a really interesting parallel that CM Punk is drawing between the two paths back to the company. But CM Punk addresses being called a demon. He says, Drew, I'm not a demon. When pushed, I'm Satan himself. And I like that when Punk said this, he also continued by saying, and if you saw that side of me, that says more about you than it does me. He says, I'm a real nice guy until it's time not to be. And so, I like that. I like that sort of response and putting the earnest on. Look, if I was a bad guy, it's because whoever you were at the time was much worse. So I like that, putting the blame back on Drew. Drew gets the mic back and says, and basically taunts CM Punk that he's never main evented WrestleMania, but Drew has. And Drew does something really interesting that I really liked. He talks about how back when he won the Royal Rumble and then main evented WrestleMania, he did it for the fans, right? Because it was during the pandemic. He did it because the company needed someone to step up. And he says, everybody else was leaving, but I stayed. I stepped up. He says CM Punk probably would have left too because when the going gets tough, Punk gets going. Thought that was a really good line. He declares himself for the Royal Rumble this year and says that this time I'm winning the Rumble and I'm main eventing WrestleMania and winning the title. Not for the fans, but I'm doing it for me. Which I like that distinction he's drawing. I like that purpose he's giving for his heel turn and his run right now. I thought that was really good. Punk gets the mic back and tells him, look, Drew, leader to leader, because I'm such a nice guy, at the Royal Rumble, I'm going to toss you out last. Which I thought was a really good zinger to end the promo. Good promo battle between these two guys. Drew definitely held his own. He's a really good promo now, and I like when he gets intense and when he really puts a lot of emotion. He's really good at it and making you feel what he's feeling. So yeah, great promo battle. That leads us to the first match of the night. Finn Balor with Damian Priest in his corner versus Tommaso Ciampa with Johnny Gargano in his corner. Before the match, or before Ciampa walks out, he cuts a pretty good promo in the back as he's walking out of backstage, saying that him and Johnny are going to go after the tag titles this year. One thing I wanted to point out with Ciampa and Gargano being in the opener, I don't think it's an accident that they are opening the show in a pretty good spot. I don't remember who said it, but I hear a lot of former wrestlers say, if you're not the main event of the match, you want to be opening the match or opening the show. Sorry. So yeah, I don't think it's an accident that DIY are opening this particular show. Because this is, again, Triple H has been on a kind of mission to get these two guys over since taking over creative, and it's slowly working. Each show that they're on, each match that they're in, they're getting more over with the crowd, and that's exciting. I really like Gargano and Ciampa. This match was a really good match, a bit on the shorter side, but it was still really good. Some of the highlights, we got a slick reverse DDT by Ciampa. Got a rare Project Ciampa. Don't see that often from him. Then Balor's typical comeback, the Sling Blade drop kick into the corner. Missed a coup de grace. And then finish of the match saw Damian Priest try a Razor's Edge on Johnny Gargano through the announce table. Tommaso Ciampa came in with the save. Then tried to get back in the ring. Finn stopped him. Then attempted a suplex to Gargano from the apron back into the ring. As they go up for the suplex, Johnny Gargano trips up Finn Balor. And Ciampa gets the 1-2-3 with a sneaky roll-up. So good win for Tommaso Ciampa. Looking forward to when we get this tag match between Finn and Damian Priest against DIY. One thing for DIY I think would help a lot is a better theme song. I just think it sounds way too much like Austin Theory's theme song, and it's a bit on the more generic side. I mean, both these guys in their own rights have great theme songs. No One Will Survive, and then Johnny's theme song are both really good and really unique in their own right. So um, I think they can do something better with their entrance music going forward. Next, we got a Becky Lynch interview. Jackie Redmond asked Becky about her loss to Nia Jax last week. Becky says, last time I got punched in the face by Nia with her full force, she broke my nose. This time I lost a match, but I got up. So either she's getting weaker or I'm getting stronger. And she teases that this might not be the end of the rivalry. And then Becky declares for the Royal Rumble. So another entrant in the Royal Rumble. That leads to second match of the night, Kofi Kingston versus Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser starts the match super aggressive. I really liked the intensity he came in with this match with, and it had a good reason, right, for the aggression. His partner got injured last week. He wasn't there this week, and Kaiser during the match kept saying, "You took Vinci's head, so now I'm going to take your head." Good aggression. Really made Kaiser look really good during the match. We got a fun little chopping battle between Kofi and Kaiser. Kaiser hit Kofi with a really nice penalty kick. And then later in the match, Kofi hit Ludwig with the trust fall, where he flies backward, which always terrifies me. No matter how many times he does it, it just scares me for Kofi every time he does the trust fall. But it always looks really good when he does it, or for the most part it does. Finish saw these two guys getting counted out after brawling on the outside. Didn't get back in for the 10, so they got counted out. But Kofi kept attacking Kaiser even after the match, gave Kaiser a dive to the announce table, and then kept attacking him on the announce table. Kaiser got the upper hand by poking Kofi in the eye. Kofi gets the advantage again, and then Kaiser goes and throws the announcer or commentators' chairs with the wheels first into Kofi's face, which looked crazy. Afterwards, Kaiser sets up Kofi onto his head on the steel steps, and then drop kicks Kofi's head into the steel steps, taking him out. Overall thoughts on the match: Kaiser, when he's super intense like this, is awesome, and you can definitely see why they might be thinking for a singles run for this guy. I think he'd be great, especially if he's like this intense the entire time. Kofi, on the other hand, I am waiting for. I can't wait for Xavier Woods and Big E to come back for him, because I enjoy Kofi most when he's in a tag team. I think he's just better surrounded by other guys just as talented as him. Next, we got a Nia Jax interview with Michael Cole in the center of the ring. Nia says that she's more focused after beating Becky last week. She declares for the Rumble as well. She brags about punching Becky in the face. She brags about how strong of a punch she has. And then she threatens Michael Cole. She threatens to punch Michael Cole in the face also. And Michael Cole kind of no-sells the threat, which was kind of funny. He just wasn't that threatened by her. Nia's interview gets interrupted by Rhea Ripley, and the crowd erupts with mommy chants when she gets into the ring. Rhea mocks Nia for having been the person to eliminate Nia last year in the Royal Rumble to win the championship at WrestleMania. And then Rhea says, or congratulations for beating Becky last week, but Becky ain't Rhea Bloody Ripley. And then she tells Nia to keep my name out your mouth. Nia tells Rhea that when she wins the Royal Rumble, she's going to pick Rhea to face at WrestleMania. And I'm not super moved by Nia's promo work. Or at least I've never have been really. But I am a fan of her in-ring direction now. I love the bonsai drop that she uses to finish. I love that they're kind of leaning into the fact that she injures people. I think it makes her more dangerous, makes her more threatening, and I like that she's leaning into it and just kind of like is proud of it. So that leads us to another video package, another recap of The Rock's return last week on Monday Night Raw. I think with The Rock's return last week, I think Raw finally has the pieces that it's been missing for a while, and that's like big superstar names just to make Monday nights feel like a bigger deal. Now with CM Punk on the show, now with The Rock, who's probably going to sporadically sprinkle in his time on Raw or on Raw, with Drew, with Seth, Sammy, Jey Uso, Becky Lynch. Now Raw feels like it's got a full roster with big names that can really carry a show. And I feel like that's what Raw has been missing for a while. We get a Cody Rhodes interview. He's asked about his main event match with Shinsuke Nakamura later in the night. Cody says this whole deal should have been done. The interview gets interrupted by Shinsuke. He attacks Cody in the back. They fight for a little bit, and then they're separated. This leads us to the women's tag title rematch. Kayden Carter and Katana Chance versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven for the championships. The first thing that popped out is something that's been popping out to me for a while. It's still wild to me that Kacy Catanzaro, or Katana Chance as she's called now, is a wrestler and has been a wrestler for this long and doesn't seem like she's going to stop anytime soon. Because I remember Kacy when she was on American Ninja Warrior, and I still just like remember that version of her. And this wrestler version it's so wild, the transformation she's gone through. I love that Kayden Carter and Katana Chance are an actual real like tag team with their own tag team moves. I like the chemistry that they have. I wish that there were more like legitimate actual tag teams. Most of the women's tag team roster is single stars that are kind of put together to make up a tag team. But I like that these two in particular are like a legitimate, we've been a tag team the entire time and we're going to stay that way. I do think one struggle I can see see Chance and Carter having is their size. Against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea Green's tall and Piper Niven's a big girl. And standing up against Carter and Chance look tiny, especially Katana Chance. But I'll tell you, what's going to fix a lot of those problems is the stuff that they're doing in match, especially this super hurricanrana that Katana Chance pulled off onto Chelsea Green, off the top rope, off of also Kayden Carter's shoulders. So they had Chelsea Green was on Carter's shoulders on the top rope, and then springboard hurricanrana by Katana Chance. Looked crazy. It was awesome. Doing stuff like that is going to really put all those worries to bed about your size. The finish of the match was a creative miscue by Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. Carter gets pulled out from under Chelsea Green's feet, knocking her to the floor as Piper Niven's going to go for her senton splash in the corner. Piper doesn't notice that it's her partner on the floor, not her opponent, and so Chelsea gets hit. Katana Chance comes off the top rope and hits Piper Niven with a diving code breaker, taking Piper out of the match. And then Chelsea gets hit with a keg stand, which is just like a handstand. They're holding each other's hands, and Katana Chance hits a splash onto Chelsea Green. Looked really good, and that's the win for Katana Chance and Caden Carter. They retain their titles, and I'm glad that they retained their titles. For me, that they're a breath of fresh air for this women's tag division, and I'm excited for what they're going to do in the future. Looking forward to their title reign. Next, we get Michael Cole introduces us to a R-Truth video package about why R-Truth believes he's a part of the Judgment Day. And one of my growing favorite parts of the show is Wade Barrett being absolutely done with all of R-Truth's antics. It's really funny to watch his just, I'm so over this guy look. So yeah, video package. The only thing I have written down for this video package, because I want you to go watch it for yourself, it's a ton of fun, it's very funny package, is that R-Truth is a national treasure and must be protected at all costs, which is 100% true. It's a funny retelling of R-Truth's childhood, where he knew, like, as a baby he was going to be in the Judgment Day. It's a really funny video package. Look it up on YouTube. It'll give you a good laugh for the day. After the video package, we get Judgment Day backstage, who were watching the package just like we were. Priest is absolutely tickled by the package. Everybody else is really either annoyed or is JD McDonough, who is just apoplectic that R-Truth thinks he's a part of the Judgment Day. Some tension tension rising between Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest over making enemies of Drew McIntyre and Nia Jax. Also, some tension from Finn losing to Ciampa tonight. That brings us to the next match of the night, Miz versus JD McDonough, with Dominic Mysterio in this corner, and R-Truth also in JD's corner. One thing I was very happy to see for JD was that JD did Triple H's little water mist thing that when he spits the water out of his mouth. I don't know why someone else hasn't picked up that before. It's an iconic thing when Triple H does it, and obviously you don't want to just straight up copy somebody else. But I think that's the spot that someone should find a unique way to incorporate. And so if JD can find more ways to do the water spit, I'm all for it. So this match, Miz and JD work really well together. Their styles fit really well. It was a good match, but throughout the entire match, R-Truth is the real star of the show. Miz takes like a good 30 seconds of just like pointing to each participant in this match, him or himself, Dominic, JD, and then like they get tepid boos or cheers between them. But then they point to R-Truth, and the crowd absolutely erupts into straight-up cheers. Truth is the real star. The finish of the match looked like Miz attacking JD's knee. Hit a diving drop kick to JD and Dom on the outside. Brings JD back into the ring. Skull-crushing finale for the 1, 2, 3. R-Truth hops in the ring and raises the Miz's hands. And then it cuts to the back where Finn, Damian, and Rhea are watching this. Rhea says, "This has to stop. We need to end this." Damian says, "Don't worry, I'll end it." So it looks like R-Truth's time in the Judgment Day is potentially, sadly, coming to an end. Potentially. Or something interesting might happen out of this. But yeah. So next we had a Seth Rollins promo. I know that there's a certain audience for Seth's fashion, and I'm happy you enjoy Seth's fashion if that's you. But I've never been a fan of the fashion choices he's been making, all the unique outfits. I don't know. It's not for me. Hopefully it's for you, though. So one thing Seth says in this promo, he says that he's never. One thing he's excited about this year is that he's never been champ. Going into WrestleMania, he talks about his when he cashed in Money in the Bank in the main event of WrestleMania to win. He talks about when he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He talked about when he had matches against Triple H and Logan Paul, but he's never been champ going into WrestleMania until this year. And so that's something he's very excited about. He then asks the crowd who they think he'll face at WrestleMania. We get a minute of some CM Punk chants, and Seth says, in that guy's dreams. Seth then gets interrupted by Jinder Mahal, who walks down here. Glad to see Jinder back and not being put back on the shelf after last week. Hot take: I think Jinder's actually really good when he's not being hot shotted into a championship. Other than that, I think Jinder's really good, and I'm glad that he's on the show now. He runs down Portland. Jinder runs down Portland. Calls the city dirty. Calls it. He just trashes Portland. Says he's tired of being overlooked. And Seth says, "Look, if you're tired of being overlooked, go ahead and take a swing on me." Tries to goad Jinder to take a swing on him. Then turns his back on Jinder, and Jinder attacks Seth Rollins from behind. Seth then gets the advantage and goes for the stomp. Jinder rolls out the ring, which sets up a championship match for Jinder Mahal next Monday for the World Heavyweight Championship. I highly doubt Jinder's going to win that match. But I am happy that Jinder Mahal is back on Raw. And seems like he's going to be amazing. I know Triple H really liked him in NXT back in the day. And so I see only good things for Jinder Mahal going forward. I'm happy he's on the show. Hopefully more consistently. Next, we had Battle of the Big Boys. Otis versus Ivar. Two very talented big fellas just beating each other up for a few minutes. Some really cool spots between the big guys. Probably the coolest and most impressive one was Ivar went for that like springboard clothesline that he does. Otis caught Ivar, big dude, caught Ivar in midair and gave him a power slam. Crazy spot. Finish looked like Ivar hitting that spinning like leg clothesline thing, and then hitting the moonsault 4-3. Fun match. It was quick, but it was high impact, really good. Big dudes beating the crap out of each other. It was fun. Next, we got a Jey Uso interview. Jey says that he wants a singles title this year. That's his New Year's goal. Bronson Reed interrupts and threatens Jey. They set up a future match down the line. I like this matchup for Bronson. I think this is gonna be a really good feud if they end up feuding each other for Bronson. Because Bronson Reed's been needing a main event guy to go toe to toe with for a while, and I think Jey Uso is the perfect match for Bronson. So I'm excited for that. Next, we get a video package recapping the Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura feud up to now, which leads us into the main event. And it should be noted that before Shinsuke attacked Cody earlier in the night, the main event match was just going to be a straight up normal match. But after that, looks like Adam Pearce switched it up to a street fight. So for this match, it was good to see Shinsuke back in the main event where he belongs. Cody comes out over as ever. It feels like the woes when his song plays are only getting louder with each city and each week passing. Match starts and they quickly go to the outside. They fight around the arena at the beginning of the match. Come back in the ring. Shinsuke gets a kendo stick and starts going to town on Cody with the kendo. Cody gets the kendo back and starts hitting Nakamura with it. Uh, and Cody, better than probably anybody, understands how to do a comeback really, really well. Sami Zayn might be the only other guy I can think of that does it like that good. That makes you like really fired up as they get fired up for the comeback. Uh, Cody, after hitting Nakamura with some moves, breaks out the furniture after we want tables chance, gets some tables out. Um, Nakamura knocks them out back into the timekeepers area. Um, and then Nakamura goes to miss Cody in the eyes with the red mist. Cody ducks out of the way and hits the poor timekeeper, whose name apparently was Berkeley. So poor old Berkeley got hit with the red mist. Nakamura gets Cody back in the ring, hits Cody with the chair, wedges the chair up in the corner, and goes to try and throw Cody's head into the chair, but Cody returns the favor and sends Nakamura head first into the chair first. We get a bionic elbow from Cody, and then Cody sets up the table and gets himself sent right through it after Nakamura comes off the top rope with for the pin and only gets two on that spot. Cody gets a super kick and a pedigree combo for two. Cody cutter for two, and then Cody sets up another table and sends Shinsuke into it, then hits Crossroads for the win. I wish Shinsuke would win one of these big matches. I wish he would have won that title off of Seth Rollins a while ago, but he didn't. I wish he would have won one of these matches with Cody. But he didn't. But I'm glad he's in the main event picture. I'm glad he's on TV every week. Hopefully, he'll get some wins down the line. But that leads us to the end of the show. Good show overall. Packed with a ton of stuff. So one thing I'm not going to do for Monday Night Raw reviews, because I see a lot of shows that do this, is complain about the 3-hour Raws. Raw's been 3 hours since 2012, and that's over a decade by now. So like if you still don't like it, you're never gonna like it. Otherwise, just kind of get over it. I don't think it's something like to be complaining about 12 years later. Like, yes, it's a thing. It's not going to change. We just need to kind of recognize that. Otherwise, really good show, packed with a lot of stuff. Nothing that I didn't like on the show. Very excited for next week. If you stuck around up to now, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you support this content, go ahead, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, help this channel grow. Hit the notify bell. Next week, I'm going to have the Cyberpunk video up for sure. I finished the Cyberpunk game this past weekend. Love the game. Really, really good. I want to take this week and the weekend to really mull over some of the thoughts that I have from the game, because it was a really good game that made you think. A lot of really good stuff in it. So I'm excited for that. Hit the notify bell to not miss that video. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And that's it. Bye, y'all.